Hey you guys, it's April. I hope that you are having a super great day. So I am back with part 2 of the interview with Victoria from Lemons N Lyme. If you didn't see part 1, I'll post the link below. That takes you a little bit more through her story, treatment, and symptoms. However, today we are going to cover the best and the worst parts of having Lyme disease and her recommendations for you if you don't want to get this illness. All right, here we go.
The worst part about having Lyme disease is that it's not recognized by the CDC. Chronic Lyme disease is not a disease that is recognized by our Center for Disease Control, and so they don't have money going into treatment. They don't have protocols for chronic Lyme. They basically tell you that you're crazy and that it doesn't exist. And I think that's the hardest part because other people then don't understand what it is. There isn't money going into treatment money into research to figure out a treatment for it. And so we're kind of just these sick people floating around in the world with an invisible illness because Lyme you can't necessarily see. I'm kind of lucky to have a port because people can see that. But otherwise you can't see it, and there's no official treatments for it, and you're just spending money hoping that something will work with not a ton of research backing it. It's a very complicated illness, and I always compare it to cancer because when someone says, oh, I have cancer, everyone can sympathize with that. There's research on it, there's so much knowledge on it, we know what that is, and you can say, oh wow, that sucks, like I know all about it. But when you say, oh, I have Lyme disease, people are like, oh, don't you just take a week of antibiotics and you're better? No, that's not how it works. It's much more complicated than that. And so that's, I think, the hardest part. There's a lot of things that are hard about Lyme. It's very isolating and it's very scary and frustrating, but I think a lot of that stems from the fact that it's not a recognized disease, so people don't know how to relate to you. Their doctors, don't believe you, and we're supposed to count on doctors, and it's really expensive because you have to find a doctor who's kind of off the grid and doesn't take insurance because they don't want the CDC to come after them for treating a disease that they claim doesn't exist, but does exist. So I am one of those people who believes that everything happens for a reason. As much as Lyme sucks or any other horrible illness sucks, I think that we get sick for a reason, and there's a silver lining, even if we can't see it right now. I know there's a couple positives I've gotten from Lyme, as horrible as this disease is. There's so many people I've met that I never would have met if I hadn't gotten sick, like April. I've met a lot of people, thanks to the internet. I've met a lot of people through social media who have Lyme and been able to connect with them and create this network, this support system of just amazing, beautiful people who I never would have had the chance to cross paths with if it hadn't been for Lyme. Some other positives are just that I am able to relate more to others who are going through struggles. I've been able to be more in touch with myself and how my body works and my feelings, and I don't want this to sound too crunchy, but just like recognize that I have a soul and been able to expand on that and connect with having faith in some weird way. I've also become more, I don't exactly know how to phrase this, but I've been able to go out in public and be more understanding of others, especially strangers. Like if someone's having a bad day or is rude to you, like it could be because they're having a bad day because they're going through something, and so I'm able to just understand that better and not take it so personally. So I'm an empath as it is naturally, but I think that I've really connected to that empathicness, and that's grown because I've been sick. It's also reiterated my desire to work with others. So getting sick has really taught me that I want to be involved somehow with helping other people. I'm hoping to go to grad school for physical therapy, but then I want to work with people with chronic illnesses, and that's just really reiterated the fact that I want to do something semi in the medical field, and really help and work with other people because I love that, and I love connecting with people, and I want to be able to help help others and be there for them. I really enjoy that. My recommendations for not getting Lyme disease. There's tons of articles online these days about how to avoid getting Lyme, but I think some key things are, first, be aware, understand that this is a serious illness that you do not want to get. So be careful when you're outside. Before you go out, make sure that you spray yourself down with either bug spray, which I don't like because it has a lot of chemicals, but you know what? You'd rather have the chemicals and be able to detox from them than get Lyme, trust me. But there are a lot of natural routes out there. There's essential oil blends and natural tick repellent sprays. You can look up online those recipes to avoid tick bites. The second thing is, I know it's hard in the summer, but if you're going to go hiking, I suggest wearing long pants and tucking them into your socks, and not going and rolling around in the grass. If you're gonna lie outside in your backyard, put a towel down so that you're not lying directly in the grass. Make sure when you come inside you do a tick check. And when I say tick check, don't just look around and be like, oh, I don't really see anything. Really look. Ticks can be smaller than the tip of a pencil. So look at your skin really closely and be like, is that a little black dot? Where did that come from? Oh, it's just a birthmark. Or, oh, that might be something. If you do find a tick on you, when you pull it off, first of all, look up the correct method online. There's a specific way, but pull it off and then put it in a jar and take it to the lab to get tested. And also go to your doctor immediately, because you want to try and get antibiotics, whether right away. You don't want to wait. But also take the tick so that they can test it. And if it had Lyme, then you're probably going to have it, because a lot of doctors will be like, oh, you just got bit. You don't have symptoms. If we test you now, it won't show up, blah blah, like you didn't have the rash. Take the tick with you. Because the quicker and sooner you treat it and catch it, the better off you are in the long run, and the more likely you are to not have chronic condition of Lyme. So those are my tips. Don't roll around in the grass. Wear your anti-tick spray or repellent of some sort. Tuck your pants into your socks. Wear long clothes. I know that's harder to do, and make sure you do a thorough tick check when you get home and inside. If you find a tick, immediately go to your doctor and take the tick with you to be tested. So those are my top tips for protecting yourself in these warmer months and throughout the year, because with global warming, the ticks are kind of out a majority of the time, or longer periods of time, because it's warmer later into the seasons or earlier in the winter now.
All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed part 1 and part 2 of my interview with Victoria. Victoria, thank you so much for sharing your story and for spreading awareness throughout our community. If you guys want to follow her, please check her out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and her blog. I'll post links below. And please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.